Welcome back to Cowland on Cars, you lovely lot, and today a return to normal service. You may have spotted on the channel, if you've been kind enough to watch regularly, I've been to Monaco, I've been to Scotland driving camper vans, but now we're just back in the yard messing about with cars. It's Sunday, it's really warm and lovely, which is why I'm treating you to my legs, and I'm just messing about basically. But we've had a few cars come in, I've got a few cars going out, and I thought I'd just bring you up to speed because I know, like we all do on YouTube, we like to be nosy, don't we? We like to see what's going on with other people's collections. So I thought I'd bring you up to speed, starting with this. Now this technically isn't mine, this is my company car. So I'm working with Unity Automotive, who are basically the Dodge importers. They also bring a lot of very exciting American stuff in. So they've got things like Cadillacs, GMs, lots of Jeeps with massive engines, but also the Dodge range, so Dodge Rams and the amazing Dodge Challenger. This, if you're not fully aware, is a Dodge Challenger 392 Scat Pack wide body final course. Very long name. What that means, dear friends, is it's basically the last of the proper V8 Challengers, which is a real shame. They don't make it anymore. They've got the Charger, which is coming soon, which is very cool, and they do make a petrol one, but it's a 6-cylinder. So basically, if you wanted the last of the true muscle cars, this was it. V8, 6.4, 485 horsepower, and I'm loving it very much indeed. It's a very lovely thing. So I've got that on a very, very long-term loan. I think I might try and find out if I can bring that into the fleet somehow. I do actually have the very first SRT of this shape, so wouldn't it be fun to have the beginning and the end of that range? So that's great fun. I've done, believe it or not, 2,500 miles in that, and I have the fuel bills to prove it. But I've got some other stuff happening as well, which I think you might like to see. So what does the final core wide body give you? Well, as the name suggests, you get the wide body. So you can see you get these Devil's Rim, stop laughing at the back, wheels, the 20-inch wheels. You also get these lovely wide arches, which are a little bit more than just a stick-on arch because the whole front wing is completely different. You get a very nice rear spoiler. And I just think it's one of the best looking cars ever made. Very deep chin spoiler. I just think it's a fabulous looking car, it really is. It also makes absolutely ridiculous noises. Inside, they've kind of replicated or emulated the sort of 1960s dash. Dodge fans out there will remember the original Challenger as in Vanishing Point. They've gone for that whole kind of binnacle-esque wrapped dashboard. It's very groovy. You get the Bumblebee, the 392 logo on the seats. They're very comfortable and ventilated. But of course, what you want to see is the engine. Excuse the dirt. If I knew you were coming, I would have cleaned it. So as I said, 485 horsepower, hemispherical engine with the cylinder deactivation. So when you are cruising along, it will knock out 4 of the cylinders. Leave in the comments below why you think that's a bad idea. But actually, it seems to work very, very well. And it means on a run, I can get 30 mpg, which I'm loving very much. So don't worry, I will be giving you a full video on that car later. A full report and road review, but it's absolutely phenomenal. I love it to bits. They have got a few others as well, so you can actually buy this one if you're very quick, but they have about 2 or 3 others. They're all about 70, 75k if you want one, and I can heartily recommend it. Now, my love for the Mark 1 Isuzu Trooper is unbounded. I think everybody knows, and you will remember from my Monaco video, I took my lovely British spec UK Trooper to Monaco. That's just over there. This is not a Trooper, being absolutely pedantic. This is a Bighorn. This is the JDM version. And whilst I love Isuzu UK very much, and I think their models are fantastic, don't tell them. I think the Japanese ones are even better because the Japanese ones just got a lot more stuff on. This is very cool. And you might be thinking, these wheels look a little bit weedy for this. And you'd be right. I'll show you the actual wheels in a minute, which have all been refurbished. But I've had this a long time and I'm slowly, very slowly, getting it back together. But why is it special? Well, it's Irmscher. If you remember, if you're into your Opals and Vauxhalls, Irmscher did a lot of very cool tuning stuff, but at this time, General Motors also had a very controlling stake in Isuzu. It was all part of the same gang. So Irmscher decided to do a special edition Irmscher Bighorn. Again, they're laughing at the back with these funny names. And what did you get? Well, you got these amazing Arctic Trucks-esque wide arches, but there was more. This is what I mean about the arches. The arches are magnificent. They really are a lovely proportion. Because I've got these dummy wheels just for rolling it around on at the moment, they look a little bit wrong. So you get wide arches on a lovely 5-door. It's a 2.8 turbo diesel, this one. So it is not in any way fast, but it produces a hell of a lot of torque. And also, as you might spot, it's a very level example I've had a lot of work done underneath. I've got full bushes underneath. Had all the chassis cleaned up and painted as well. I just think it's an epic thing. I didn't pay an awful lot for it when I bought it, but I spent quite a bit of money on it since. And there is the mighty badge. Now imagine, if you will, dear viewer, that these wheels and tyres are about to go on. These, believe it or not, are the factory wheels, 3-piece factory split rims, forged ×5. And my lovely mates at Fix a Wheel have done a beautiful job of refurbishing those. Just need those to get balanced up and they'll be going on. I think they will look far more in keeping. They're also an awful lot wider as well. So what else did the JDM model give you? Well, as you'll know, if you love JDM vehicles, they always spec them a bit more highly. So you've got this fabulous Ermshire wheel. It needs a bit of a repaint in the middle, but you can see it's got the Ermshire badging in. But look at this. Factory fishnet Recaros. They really spec these up. Unfortunately, this one's got a bit of a Japanese fagman in, so we're going to have to tidy those up a little bit. Isn't she a lovely old bus? When you think those wheels will go back on and tidy up, I think that'll be fabulous. And of course she starts on the button because she's Japanese. Automatic, heated seats as well. And just this wonderful, beautiful retro old dashboard with, if you can see, all the Japanese text on as well. Just a fabulous old thing. So I'm having a Saab Renaissance, so this one is going to have a full recommissioning soon. There's also a very nice caravan, which is probably going to get sold. If you want a very big German caravan that has enormous amounts of room inside, call me. But back to the cars. This has also arrived from a lovely family that I know very well, who collects a lot of Saabs, more of that later. Just a 9000 CSE, 95 model year, full fat 2.3 turbo, in I think the colour's called Citroen Beige. Leave in the comments, fellow Saab nerds, if that's the right colour. I think that is right, from 31 years ago. Quite a rare colour, we didn't sell many of these, but look inside. So the very good news is, it wasn't a lot of money, it was £500. And it has, as I say, the full fat 2.3, which were 200 horsepower. The additional William Lawrence wood kit, and if you want to know something absolutely hilarious and amazing, this dashboard, this door capping, that gear surround there, were made in that building just there, which is now a go-kart track, but was actually the William Lawrence factory. So they haven't come very far, have they? A couple of little matching blebs on the door, which we'll need to sort out. And I think we are going to have to get some heat and some cleaning on this seat. That's been obviously squashed up, so I think a little bit of heat and leather cleaner on there might do wonders. Also missing its headrest. If you've got some 9000 beige leather headrests, talk to me. But I think for 500 notes, bearing in mind it starts and runs, I think there's the basis of a good project there. I also particularly like these 95 model year wheels, the asymmetric wheels, which were a bit wider on the 9000. So I was actually selling these cars in this period, so this brings back many happy memories for me. Under the old bonnet, we've got the DI 2.3, fantastic engine this, with the turbo. It all runs really well. The slight issue we've got at the moment, and it is a slight issue, I'm sure it's very easy to sort, is the oil pipe at the front has split. So I need to get a new oil pipe. Again, if you've got one, let me know in the comments. If not, we'll just get one made up. But that's got to be the cheapest, funnest way to get a 200 horsepower hatchback with executive pretensions. I'm loving that very much. Meanwhile, in the yard, if you want something super rare, I am definitely going to find a new home for my Y32 Nissan Cedric. This is the top one, the Gran Turismo Ultima, which, if you know, is basically a lot of the running gear and a single turbo engine out of a 300ZX. Beautiful car, incredibly rare in any country, including Japan, 1991. That'll be getting cleaned up, but if you want to beat the queue, let me know. What's it worth? Who knows? Because it's so hard to find. Probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6K that'll be. It's had a bit of a scrub. So let me know if you fancy that. And one that I can't sell you because I've already sold it is this little treasure. I bought this at Manor Park Classics, you may remember, a little while ago. I've spent a bit of money on it since. Looks like a two-tone Rover 75 connoisseur, and you'd be right in thinking that. That's what it is. That's what it was based on. I call it the Dis Maybach because of the two-tone paint. But actually, it's a little bit special, this one, and you probably can tell if I open the rear doors. Because you may notice this one has an additional 8 inches in the rear, and who doesn't love 8 inches in the rear? When we're talking about cars, of course, you filthy lot. And you can really see when you look in the roof, that console, this is such a Rover thing to do. So they just basically cut the headliner in half and then built a console to cover the gap in the middle. So Rover. But the idea of this was, because the Rover 75 was more of a 3 Series competitor than a 5 Series competitor, and the government wanted ministers to use a British car, they made McNeely stretch these cars, and they were called Vanden Plas or Vanden Pla. The debate rages on. Again, leave in the comments which one you think is the right one. But that is quite a cool, rare thing. You can see it in the door as well. So particularly from this angle, you can see that beautiful coachwork. Now, the cost of doing these was about another 5k on top of the standard car. And you'd never know. They were all coach built. And it's such a subtle job. It's beautifully done. But I can't sell you that one or the amazing amount of parts I've amassed inside it, because I've already sold that to a very nice man called Alan, who's, I think, going to restore it and make it beautiful again. So you can look forward to seeing that one on a show field near you soon in perfect working order. And just in case you're wondering what powers this rarity, it was the very lovely, the silky smooth Rover V6. And of course it starts on the button and it runs beautifully. So I'm very excited about getting that one back on the road. Even if I'm not doing it, I think you've got to give these cars a chance if you don't have the time to do them. And you might be thinking, Paul, why are you selling cars? That's most unlike you, because I'm trying to be good now. I think I've probably got enough cars. So when I'm buying new cars, I'm trying to sell the old ones. And this is a car that has joined the fleet. You may have seen this on my social media or in my shorts. Looks like a very lovely 99, and it is, but something's not quite right. And this is where it gets fun, because if you look in here, you'll see a 16-valve engine, but not just a 16-valve engine, a 16-valve turbo. So a very cool and clever guy called Mike Spinnock, who I've known an awfully long time, who's sadly no longer with us, commissioned this car nearly 30 years ago. It was built by a lot of very clever people. And it is a masterpiece of packaging. He's not the first person to do a 16-valve turbo into a 99 by any stretch of the imagination, but I do say this one's particularly been well executed. So it needs a full recommission and putting back on the road. But what a thing. Again, there will be a full video on this masterpiece. The car is awash with fantastic little touches. It was built into a very beautiful shell. I'll just show you this as an example of Mike's thinking. So because there's no room for the battery by the turbo where you'd have it on the 900, he's sunk it into the floor of the boot very nicely. Whole car is just so well executed. Cannot wait to do a full video on that one for you. And just doing some lights and levels on the rather lovely Legacy 4-cam, which I'm going to start dailying, I think. So in between running the Dodge a lot, because it's brilliant, I'm going to use this. I'm going to have to get it MOT'd, so I'll book it in for an MOT next week. And then I think I will start running that a little bit in the summer. Also a very lovely place to be. So if you've watched my other Legacy video on my rather fabulous white one, the 4-cam is a bit specky. So you've got the factory Momo wheel, the wood in inverted commas, the leather, ruched leather on the doors. How 90s is that? Just a phenomenal thing. This is also a little bit quicker, 2.5 litre automatic. Just a wonderful way to waft about. And I can't forget the works truck, of course, because it's just such a lovely old bus. Again, this is about to get recommissioned. I've got some new wheels and tyres to go on this. It needs a new brake slave cylinder in the rear and probably service and once over. So we'll get that down to Unity's American Car Centre in Oxford and give that a bit of love. Because just listen to this. This has to be the best sounding works fan in the world. So that's what I've been up to today, moving these around, finding some of them new homes, bringing the new stock in, and there's another one coming, which I think you're gonna absolutely love. So if you have seen cars on my channel that you quite like the look of, I am having a bit of a change around this year. So new stuff in, old stuff out. Send me a DM or put something in the comments. If there's a car that you would like to bid on, or you have a price in mind for something of mine that you've seen, might be your year to buy it, you never know, because of other things that I would like to own. But do like and subscribe. When you press like, you get the hype points. If you could please hype them, it really helps the videos. And leave me in the comments, which of the cars you've seen today would you like a full video on first? Because you are the channel controllers. You let me know what you'd like to see. But I will see you next time. In the meantime, just enjoy another bit of the Detroit Symphony Orchestra.